One of the toughest teams to beat at home is finally back in the Dome. St. Louis is ready for a red out against the Ramblers, who are feeling a lot more confident after getting the 0 out of the win column. It's a Central Division clash in Missouri. The Motor City Mustangs rocketed out to a 2-0 start, but tripped up against division opponent Cincinnati. Tonight, another Great Lakes opponent tussles with them, the young and hungry Milwaukee Stags. And the New York Lightning hope to erase a dud of a performance in Miami with another win in front of their home crowd. New Orleans could win their third in a row, sinking their claws into the rainy Big Apple. All that and more will be decided right here tonight in the Virtual Zone. Week 5 continues next. Sit back and enjoy the glory of 3 times the football as 90 minutes of UFL action starts now right here on Game Night. New Orleans is our first to kick, followed by St. Louis, Motor City. We are underway across the league on the Virtual Football Network's YouTube and Twitch channels. Happy to have everybody along for the ride and hope you enjoy it. If it is your first time viewing, UFL.football is the place for all the information around the league. Okay, here we go. We got a big night tonight as a lot of teams, in fact, all 6 teams out east participating tonight. The only Western Conference team, ironically, is the Houston Herd, who are also in the men's national championship game, the University of Houston, tonight from my hometown of San Antonio. So a big night for Houston sports tonight as they try to go to Rochester and take down the undefeated Pioneers. Snow is in the forecast for the game tonight in Rochester. Right now it is raining in Rochester and in New York City, but eventually that will turn to snow later this evening. Adam Wiseman from Milwaukee is off to a hot start. So is Action Jackson, a 19-yard pickup for him. And then number 19 from Milwaukee, Mike Churchill, with a 16-yard reception as both teams are near the 50. Good evening, Damon Simeon. Robert Henson in the chat. Ronnie Shanahan here. Skip is here. Ernest McCrae, DJ Kilgan, and Tyler Falk, and many others, as New York's going to go quickly on a 3-and-out. That is not the start they wanted. It looked like Alvarez got tangled up with Dylan Gordon down the field. You can see lower right-hand corner. It kind of hit Gordon in the back, ruined the timing of that play. And there goes Tennessee down the sideline. That is a little touch pass to Max Capone for 26 yards and a Rambler first down. New Orleans in there, all whites with the sort of maroon life vest tops. New York in their all blacks, all red and all blue for St. Louis and Motor City respectively. Milwaukee's got the gold pants and the red helmets. Pewter and white for Tennessee here tonight. Nice move from Max Capone. We have 52 responses to our UFL customer survey. If for whatever reason you have not filled out your survey yet and you are watching tonight, please give us an opportunity to hear your thoughts and opinions as Tennessee is nearing the red zone. Ryan Davis escapes and gets down to the 21-yard line, so almost our first red zone trip tonight for Tennessee. Also, let us know if you saw the messages about UFL Bingo or YouGo coming soon, as Milwaukee has reached the red zone. And if you haven't seen any information about that, we're asking you to share your thoughts in general chat of the UFL server. So Milwaukee's in the red zone. Tennessee is almost in the red zone, and some miscommunication there from Ryan Davis. That on that last catch for Milwaukee was Fergus Henderson, who had 3 touchdowns in Milwaukee's last game. Still on Tennessee's opening possession here as Ray Chapatulas has New Orleans inside the 50. Ryan Davis is going to scramble. He's got Tennessee in the red zone. Adam Wiseman goes play action. He goes to the back of the end zone. That pass is caught for a Milwaukee touchdown. That pass caught by unclaimed wide receiver Dejon Wright. And Milwaukee's on the board. So just as an example, and we're hoping to test the bingo game on Wednesday night here on Game Night, but just as an example, Milwaukee with that touchdown there, a 6 on your card would not count unless the extra point was blocked. But then if they kick the extra point and it's good, it's 7, and 7 would be the score. And then that touchdown was, I think it was, I wasn't paying attention because I don't have bingo pulled up, but if it was 18 yards, for example, an 18-yard touchdown pass, then that would have been an 18 marked off of your bingo card. And winning a bingo can get you opportunities to progress you or your teammates or anything going on with that. So that's generally how that would work, and we can kind of run through that logic as we go throughout the evening. Tennessee is in the red zone. I'm waiting for down and distance here as Tchoupitoulas gets another gain up the middle. Cain Vasquez on the stop. One of the points of feedback in our survey was, giving defenders some shine, more shine here on game night. And I know that we do our best to try to at least mention every defender at least once a broadcast, but we're going to try a little harder here this evening as Ryan Davis's pass is hauled in, but I believe, oh no, they said it's incomplete. Out of bounds, so 4th down and 11 for Tennessee. It looks like they're going to come up a little bit short here. New Orleans, so Tennessee field goal is likely. Oh yeah, never got the second foot in bounds. There's an interception in the Milwaukee Motor City game. That pass is picked off by unclaimed defensive end Ronald Walters. Lower left-hand corner of your screen. Let's check this replay. Ronald Walters, the big defensive end, steps back into coverage and intercepts Jack Brown. Unbelievable. The big man for Milwaukee stands 6'3", 278 pounds. And for Walters this season, that is his first interception, obviously. He's only the 3rd different player on Milwaukee to record a pick this season. So that sets up Milwaukee almost into the red zone. New Orleans is in the red zone, and Tennessee's field goal is good. DJ talking about how difficult it might be with all the 3 games. Yeah, it's just getting in a rhythm, just like anything else. You know, we need to be keeping an eye on potential touchdown yardage, field goal yardage, things like that. Making sure that we don't miss a beat as Tchoupitoulas gets her 6th carry of the ball game. Milwaukee's back in the red zone off the turnover, and New Orleans is looking for their first points of the night. So a Motor City early interception in this one has Milwaukee knocking on the door of a potential 14-0 lead. Setting up the screen to Tchoupitoulas down to the 6-yard line on 3rd down and 11. Karen Kaizumi's off and running with her gold shoes. Picks up 7 yards. St. Louis a lengthy bye, going 2-1. And that was more feedback from our survey just about the schedule and about how sometimes the gaps between games can be quite long. I think those are the first, I guess, realizations of making a schedule like this where you've got 32 teams and extended weeks and not everybody plays on the same day and all that kind of stuff. So I promise you that the 2026 schedule, I think, is going to be a much cleaner process as Adam Wiseman hurls that one out of the back of the end zone to avoid a sack. Let's see. So New Orleans gets the field goal. It's 3rd down and 1 for St. Louis. They convert across the 50. No, actually, we're going to go to Detroit, where we've got 3rd and goal here at the 11-yard line for the Stags, trying to go up 14-0 early in this one as Wiseman's pass is incomplete. That ball knocked away by Quay Uda, the corner, and it looks like the Mustangs will get half a stop. So, for example, Milwaukee's about to kick a 28-yard field goal. So if you had 28 on your bingo sheet and they make that field goal, it would be 28 successful. And then if they get to 10, that would be another successful number on your card as well. New Orleans' field goal is good. 4 minutes to go. New York gets the ball back. Milwaukee's kick is good. The Stags are up 10-0 on Motor City. 3-0 Tennessee, 3-0 New Orleans. None of the home teams have scored in this opening frame. Let's go back to St. Louis now, where Kaizumi's got St. Louis across the 50. Brando Black going deep, and not much there as the Lightning offense have yet to get moving. Bingo's not yet available We're hoping to run a test game on Wednesday, and that would be available to the first 30 people who register, but we've got to put that all together tomorrow and get that link out and all that good stuff. So no bingo tonight, but just kind of putting it in people's heads of just about how it would work and, how that's all looking like. Robert Henson cheering on his Lightning. Need to answer back. Think outside the boxes here. Let's play some football. We're definitely doing that. Robert Henson Jr. around the right side. Picks up 5 for New York. 3rd and 5 coming up there. Junior McCray on his second carry for St. Louis. This is their opening possession, and they have actually gotten into the red zone now at the Tennessee 12-yard line trying to answer back. Motor City focused on improving their run game. They have a league low 3 yards a carry. That's last in the UFL, so Motor City really wanted to work on that as Kaizumi goes play fake into the end zone, nearly intercepted. Tennessee one play away from getting a red zone stop. New York voted to adjust their defense. This is a pretty good man coverage team. You're going to see a lot more single high and man coverage out of the New York Lightning, but right now it's their offense that is struggling to produce here in the first quarter. Milwaukee gets into the backfield, and again, that is unclaimed defensive end Ronald Waters having an unbelievable night. He already has 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack coming into the night. But Waters is balling for Milwaukee. 3rd down and 4 for St. Louis. This for Kaizumi keeps the drive alive, and she and her team got it for a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line for St. Louis. Well, you'll register. There will be a new bingo section on Discord. It's not available yet. Jack Brown going to take off and run. He lost the ball, and Milwaukee recovers. Are you kidding me? Jack Brown has 2 turnovers in, I think, 2 plays. Milwaukee's defense has come to play tonight. This is St. Louis around the left side for a touchdown. Wind him up. That is Junior McCray with the score for St. Louis, but Jack Brown has an interception and a fumble in the first 5 minutes of this game, and that ball is out. Motor City has really not had I don't think too much of a turnover issue. Just 1 interception for Motor City this season and not a lot of fumbles. Wiseman on a play fake. He's got the ball down to the Motor City 24-yard line. St. Louis takes the lead 7-3 with 3:36 to go. You see, Motor City has 1 yard of offense and -1 passing yards. Here in the first quarter, Milwaukee is back into the red zone. This is unbelievable. That is Rocco McLongfellow with his 3rd run for 29 yards. Milwaukee's run game gashing the Mustangs. Motor City's defense has been another issue for the Mustangs. They are giving up gobs of yardage through their first 3 games. Another screen on 3rd down and 8 for New Orleans is going to fall short. Whiska Lafouche is off to an 8-for-8 start, but it's only resulted in 3 points on the board. New Orleans is a pretty conservative offense. They're not going to necessarily burn you deep. And neither offense has done much in that first quarter as that punt is shanked off the side of the foot. New York will start with the football at their own 23-yard line. So Milwaukee has a 2nd down and 7. Now Wiseman going under center at the 9-yard line on an audible. Fires it to Mike Churchill, who is crunched down at the 3. 3rd and inches coming up for the Stags. Churchill's got 22 yards on 2 catches. That was Daniel Alvarez making that last catch for New York. Wiseman, 3rd and inches. They didn't say he got the first down. Now there's a penalty flag. I think Wright stepped out of bounds. And that is going to bring up 4th down and inches for Milwaukee. They are going to go for it, up 10-0, trying to step on the throat of the Mustangs at the 3. Wiseman going to throw. It is a touchdown, Milwaukee. And that is Dejon Wright. 16-0 Stags with 3:21 to go in the first quarter. They go for it on 4th down and inches. Motor City's got 1 yard and 2 turnovers on offense in a shocking first quarter for the Stags. In Detroit as well, Brando Black all day to throw. Wide open down the field is their tight end McGee for 41 yards to match his number and a first down. Lightning, their first big play of the day, comes in the second quarter as the offensive line held up something fierce. Let's go back to St. Louis, where Tennessee's on the Riverman 31-yard line. This is a Central Division matchup. Tennessee, St. Louis, Wichita, and Dallas in a very competitive Central. That's Rocket Davis on the carry. Just 2 carries so far for 7 yards. But right now, the storyline is that the Milwaukee Stags 1-3 at 2-1 Motor City tonight. 5.5-point dogs as Ryan Davis's pass is incomplete, overthrew his intended receiver, so now it's 4th down. But 5.5-point dogs for Milwaukee, and they are up 17-0. Jack Brown has 2 turnovers in the first quarter. He only had 1 interception in his first 3 games. 115-1 in total yards. Motor City started the season 2-0, and they really haven't had a chance to get their run game going. That's unclaimed running back Baron Owens. If you've ever wanted to be a running back, this might be the team. This is a 48-yard field goal for Tennessee. That's good. So if we were playing bingo tonight and you had 48 on your bingo card, that would work. Let's go to, well, looks like New York is kicking a field goal. This is from 47 yards away to tie the game at 3. And that kick is good with 9 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd down and 1 for Motor City. They're still looking for a first down. Let's go there. Can the Mustangs move the football? And a handoff is a first down for Owens. 20 yards on 3 catches. Appreciate that, Plagues. That's a blast from the pass username. Happy to have you along tonight. Points on the board, says Robert Henson. 17-0 Milwaukee up. Motor City finally does pick up their first down of the evening. Oh, that's too kind. St. Louis up 7-6, coming up on the end of the first quarter. Tennessee hanging with them, but they've gotten just a couple of field goals out of it. 11th offensive play for the Rivermen of the quarter will be a draw play to Junior McCray, and not much doing there. That's the end of the first quarter in St. Louis. So Detroit, Motor City, and Milwaukee, our last team, or our last game to hit the second quarter. And we've got a couple close games in the diagonal corners. Oh, nice ball and a broken tackle. James Walters for Motor City has the Mustangs on the board. Dancing with his teammate, Ace Fennick, James Walters, who has been a big part of Motor City's success so far this season, gets loose. That, I believe, was a 51-yard touchdown. Brown just getting it away before getting crushed. Wiska-Lafouche on a 3rd down and 13 will take off and run. He is sacked. That is Dante Doom III with his 2nd sack already tonight for New Orleans as he buttons up the suit. So Motor City's back in this thing. Let's go to St. Louis, where Kaizumi's got the Rivermen almost to the midfield mark. Doom is crushing it for the Lightning, and I tell you what, this New York Lightning defense is looking a lot more fierce out there this evening. Going back to James Walters, 498 yards and 5 touchdowns this season. That is his 2nd 50-plus yard reception. Coming into week 5, James Walters led the league in receiving yards and touchdowns with 498. Only Iggy Turner of Los Angeles had more receptions. Karen Kaizumi is loose again, 25 yards on 3 grabs for St. Louis. For St. Louis's talented rushing quarterback, Robert Henson Jr., on his 5th carry, just 6 yards. New York's run game has not done much of anything. There really hasn't been any offense doing much of anything in that New York-New Orleans game, and we've hit the first quarter in Detroit. Another handoff to Henson Jr., and he gets dropped for a loss of for no gain on the play. 3rd down and 6. That is Jack Toulouse on the tackle for New Orleans. So we got one team across the 50 right now. Adam Wiseman's got possession, having to work the length of the field for the first time in a long time tonight, and his pass falls into the dirt. New York's drive will continue after Gordon completes that pass. And while we're in a lull, let's give a shout out to all of our defensive players out there playing tonight. Tennessee's got Mike Rodick, Dexter Jackson, Joey Duncan II. St. Louis, Dynamite McCray, and Maple Mack out there on the defensive line at defensive tackle, as Wiseman's pass is off the mark. Will Shackelford and Cash Cruz are the safeties for Milwaukee to keep an eye on. Doug Howard Jr., Colin Douglas of Motor City holding down that Mustang defense. And then in New York, it's Dante Doom III, who already has 2 sacks, Rose Black, St. Louis, and Kane Vasquez. Jack Toulouse for New Orleans, as St. Louis is back in the red zone. That is the 3rd catch for the 3rd receiver on the depth chart, Marquise Haggins. Marquise Haggins has St. Louis into the red zone. New York is across the 50 in a 3-3 game with 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Henson again on the carry, and again, not much there. Kaizumi throwing inside the 10. Homer J! Touchdown, St. Louis. Jay celebrates with Wells as St. Louis has 2 touchdowns and Tennessee has 2 field goals in the first half. Brando Black's pass is deflected into the air and incomplete. He's off to a 6 for 10 for 71-yard start. Motor City got a defensive stop for the first time today, and their offense has the football back now with a 3rd down and 2 in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. St. Louis increases their lead to 7. The extra point is blocked and picked up by Tennessee. Going the other way, the Tennessee Ramblers are about to get 2 points. Blocking the extra point. Now it's 13-8, and New York just kicked a field goal. That is the worst shank I have ever seen. At least in UFL standards. I mean, that did not have a chance. And the Lightning's drive comes up empty. That ball may have slipped right off the foot of New York's kicker. It is wet out there. New Orleans will take back over in a 3-3 game, very low-scoring game in New York. In the rain, Wiska-Lafouche now 10 for 10 passing. So off the blocked extra point, it's 13-8. St. Louis up 5 over Tennessee. Big second down and 3 coming up for Motor City. They'll hand the ball off. Owens has been getting some looks. Whisker LaFouche all the way down to the 20-yard line. New Orleans is in the red zone. Now up to 116 total yards. Nobody had the New Orleans quarterback, and the Claws are trying to take advantage of the great field position off the missed field goal.
Let's go. 60 Pittsburgh.
Some scores from earlier here in week number 5. Coming at you on your screen is Jack Brown. Will fire it near side, but 1 yard shy of the first down. Will Motor City elect to go for it? Tennessee, it looked like they had a first down, but the ball popped out. So now it's 3rd down and 7 for the Ramblers. So we got New Orleans in the red zone. It looks like Motor City will punt, and then another pass almost to the exact same spot for Tennessee will end up being incomplete once again. So 4th down and 7, the Ramblers will have to punt it away. I mean, you got to catch that. That's 2 balls into the receiver's hands there on back-to-back plays, and Tennessee just can't handle it. Whisker LaFouche, play action on 1st and goal, and he is decked by Lipsy. Deep shot from Wiseman, no, and Motor City has settled down after digging a 17-0 hole. St. Louis's defense gets the stop and will return it up to the 30-yard line. New York has been getting after New Orleans tonight. That's at least their 3rd sack. Rocco McLongfellow on the carry for Milwaukee, and there's not much there either. 3rd and long coming up for the Stags. This is 2nd down and goal at the 11-yard line. For Whisker LaFouche, going to take off and run. LaFouche inside the 10, looking for a block. Doesn't slide, gets down to the 2. 37 rushing yards in the first half. It's 3rd down and goal. LaFouche going to throw or take off. LaFouche, touchdown, New Orleans. He has a nose for the end zone. LaFouche's 6th rushing touchdown in 5 games. Polk couldn't get there in time. They were converging on LaFouche, but they're 1 yard too late, and the New Orleans Claws take a 9-3 lead. 3rd and 11, not what St. Louis was looking for. Quick 3 and out, and a nice force out there by Joey Duncan II for Tennessee in those orange sleeves. You can spot him quickly. All right, so out of the red zone, let's go to Motor City, where Milwaukee is the closest to scoring position as St. Louis is punting. Wiseman wide open. That is caught for a first down. Then a broken tackle out to the 37-yard line as St. Louis pins Tennessee inside the 10. That pass hauled in by unclaimed tight end Dallas Wright. Tight end is probably the position in the UFL with the most talent with the fewest claimed players, I would say. 1:09 to go in the first half in New York, and the Lightning are down 10-3. New Orleans is trying to win their 3rd in a row. They have really started to figure some things out offensively, especially on that last drive, as the Mustangs knocked that pass away. Wiseman's 10 of 16 for 128 yards so far. New York's pass only goes for 3, but they did. Oh, there's a fumble in the St. Louis game. It's picked up by the Rivermen at the 9-yard line. Let's see if that stands. Flowers with the recovery. Rocket Davis I think he was down. As New Orleans will call timeout on 3rd and 14 to try to get off the field. Mike Churchill with a catch for Milwaukee.
Here we go, set, 18, Gator. All day, dog.
Kaizumi, 9 of 11 for 103 yards.
Let's go.
Third down and 14. Brando Black's pass is caught. That is to the New Orleans 49-yard line. So the Claws tried to get off the field on 3rd down and 14 by calling a timeout, but then McGee gets open. He's got 70 yards in the first half. There goes Rocco McLongfellow inside the 10, and that is a Milwaukee touchdown. Rocco McLongfellow scores on a little fake jet juke and untouched into the end zone. Milwaukee rebuilds a commanding 16-point advantage. And for McLongfellow, that is his second rushing touchdown of the season. New York calls timeout with 25 seconds left. 2 timeouts. Black's pass caught by Alvarez, and there's another timeout. So 30 on the New Orleans 34-yard line, as the extra point for Milwaukee is good, 24-7. All right, let's go to New York. New York has 1 timeout left. A 10-second runoff. If they can get a play, I don't know. If this play is in the field of play, I think it's the last one before potential field goal. That pass is caught down to the 15-yard line, but yeah, with the 10-second runoff, New Orleans is only going to get 3 points out of the drive, but they will get points. That's Ryzen Rodriguez's first catch of the night. It goes for 19, and it gets New York in much better field position, or field goal range, I should say, after that miss 55-yard field goal that was badly missed. So the Knights will get 3 just before the half. This is a 32-yard field goal. And again, going back to bingo that we're going to test on Wednesday, that would be a 6 off the board. Milwaukee's got 24 points. That was a 31-yard field goal. So all those numbers would hit in the last couple of sequences here. All right, let's reset things. 2nd down and 5 for Motor City at their own 30. And it looks like St. Louis may be on their 40. Nobody's across the 50 right now. New Orleans has the lone touchdown in the lower right-hand corner. Milwaukee jumped out to a 17-0 lead, and they still lead by 17 late in the first half. 3rd down and 11 for Kaizumi and the Rivermen, and that pass is caught for a first down to the Tennessee 40-yard line. As New Orleans runs out the first half. Chapatulis with another strong run. The Claws trying to make a statement. On the road, get to 3-2. They lead the Lightning 10-6 at the break. There's your first half numbers, just 11 rushing yards for New York in that first half. Neither team turned the ball over in that rainy weather. Hey, Baron Owens averaging 4 yards a carry for Motor City. As a team, they averaged 3 yards per rush in their first 3 games, dead last in the UFL, so some improvement there, but it's not going to much matter. They're down by 17 right now, and on 3rd down and 3, they actually lose 2 yards. So Milwaukee's going to get another stop, and there's that man again. That's actually Kobe Carnes, opposite of Waters at defensive end. And we've hit the 2-minute warning in Detroit. But Milwaukee's defensive front has done a really nice job tonight. Kane mentioning that Jupiter Jennings very quiet tonight, just 1 carry for 5 yards. Think outside the box. The bingo card will be available on our Discord server if you're a player, and then we'll put the link in chat as well. Once things become live, we're going to test it out on Wednesday, and we'll probably try to get the numbers called out somewhere on the screen somehow, just as things go along. Ryan Davis with his 3rd carry for 25 yards for Tennessee as they try to put together a drive to end the first half. They have 1:35 to go. Milwaukee's in the same boat. That's Fergus Henderson with another reception. Milwaukee's looked really strong tonight. Whisker Lafouche is sacked to start the second half, so they're underway in New York. Lafouche, I think that's the 4th time he is ripped down this evening. 2nd down and 10. Ryan Davis taken off and again has room down to the 48-yard line. Wiseman, deep shot, incomplete. Stops the clock with 1:24 to go. Tennessee and Milwaukee both driving here at the end of the first half. New Orleans, New York is into the second half. And Kane Vasquez pointing out in the chat as Ryan Davis takes off again and slides down to the 33-yard line. 56 yards on 5 carries for Ryan Davis in the first half as Tennessee reaches scoring position. Kane pointing out that Jenkins got that sack, the boosted defensive lineman for New York. Trying to wreak some havoc up front, and they've done a much better job of that tonight. Whisker Lafouche's 12th completion. That's Cameron Bailey unclaimed, who's really stepped up during the win streak. Davis is going to take off again. 36 down to the 35. He lost the ball, sort of sauntering. I don't know what Ryan Davis is looking. I don't know if he's looking for a block downfield. That was crazy. Ryan Davis just not aware of anybody around him. Somebody's got to yell out Wolf. Wow, Tennessee was approaching the red zone, and linebacker Moses Hopkins comes up from behind and knocks the football away. That is a brutal turnover for Tennessee, who was knocking on the door of more points. That's their first turnover of the day, as Milwaukee's drive will stall out. Great punt. Mustangs will have 7 seconds to do something with it and 3 timeouts from their own 26-yard line. New York's got the football back after stopping New Orleans on offense. Jack Brown going to be sacked back at the 13, and that's how that first half will end. What a strange first half in Motor City. Before the Mustangs even had a first down, the Stags led 17-0, and then that game has been pretty even since. But it's Motor City in a hole as Kaizumi just scrambles. St. Louis calls their second timeout, trying to get something done before the half. In a dogfight with Tennessee right now, 13-8, 10-6. New Orleans and New York. There's a penalty deep down the field. I think they're going to get New Orleans for pass interference, and they do. So we're coming into the start of the second half. Your first question of the night for a 5-point boost is who will score the first points in any second half? Who will score the first points in any of the second halves tonight? Leave your comments in the chat. If you don't have a team, you can apply your winnings to your favorite team. Just let us know in the chat. Who will be the first team to score any points in the second half? New York is across the 50 right now, as Kaizumi takes off and runs, and St. Louis will get one last play, probably a Hail Mary of some kind, as they try to close out Tennessee here in the first half. Roach approach is here. Let's see, we got Kane Vasquez taking New York, Adam Wiseman, Milwaukee, Evans got New Orleans, Churchill's got the Stags. What up, Churchill? Motor City needs to wake up. Neil Rivers has New York. Henson's got St. Louis. DJ's got Tennessee. And there's another penalty marker. That's going to extend the half. Is that going to put St. Louis into field goal range? Yeah, it certainly is. Joey Duncan II pulls the face mask. Oh, I'm so sorry, Duncan. That puts St. Louis in field goal range. And if we were playing bingo tonight, this would be a 45-yard field goal to knock off the card. And St. Louis with no time on the clock. Wow, costly turnover there for Tennessee. And we hit the half with a very odd score. Now that score happened in the first half of the St. Louis game, so it does not count for our trivia question. Brando Black is going deep. That pass is knocked away and incomplete. 4th and 9. It would be another about 56-yarder for New York. And they missed a 55-yarder badly, I think, going in this direction in the first half, so I'm not sure they're going to even attempt that. Nice run by Baron Owens of Motor City. He's up to nearly 5 yards a carry now. And New York is going to try from 56. This one a much better kick, but it is also missed. So New York has missed 2 field goals from 50 plus. Maybe trusting a little bit too much in their kicker.
Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Go. Don't be scared.
New York's kicker coming into the week was 8 for 8 with a long of 51 yards. Well, his perfect season is done, and now New Orleans gets the ball at their own 46-yard line. The Lightning, I think, maybe a little bit desperate for points. And that desperation is showing. So we still have no points here in the second halves of any of these games, as St. Louis and Motor City now have the ball offensively. Wiseman saying those orange sleeves cost Joey Duncan. I think you're right. Jack Brown hurling it deep down the field and incomplete. He's just 6 of 8. Motor City hasn't been on the field all that much offensively. Junior McCray with his 10th carry. He's up to 36 yards and a score. Welcome back into VFN headquarters. I'm UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine, watching all the action with you tonight. Wiska Lafouche, another carry, 51 yards and a touchdown tonight. Karen Kaizumi lets it rip. St. Louis is down to the Tennessee 42-yard line. Oh, the poor Lightning. Another frustrating evening offensively, but the defense holding their own against New Orleans in a very low-scoring ball game there. Motor City has to punt again. Boy, how about Milwaukee's defense tonight? They have played well on both sides of the ball. Wiska Lafouche for New Orleans. That pass is incomplete. Another handoff for St. Louis. That's Junior McCray with a first down to the Tennessee 30. So it looks like maybe St. Louis might be our first team to score here in the second half. And that's where we're going with our audio right now, because we've got St. Louis in the red zone. Kaizumi is wheeling and dealing. That is Howes with his 4th catch for 50 yards. And it is the Rivermen back in the red zone. 16-8 play fake. Kaizumi a little bit wobbly, and it's still caught anyway. Touchdown St. Louis. That's Homer J with his 2nd of the day, and St. Louis scores our first points of the second half. The last person to guess St. Louis is going to win that +5 boost, and that is Don Bluebaugh, which I think is Homer J. Let me know in the chat, Don. But I think Homer J wins that +5 boost, and you can just tag me in general chat of the UFL server, and I will pin that. That extra point is good. So if you would have had a 23 on your bingo card, that would have hit as well. Motor City's defense gets a stop. And a couple of broken tackles on the punt return. Motor City with a big-time punt return up to the 45-yard line. One of the best punt returns this season. We're still waiting for a return touchdown in the UFL through 5 weeks. I know, crazy. And our company on the back end letting us know we've had 100 chat messages combined on both of our channels so far today. So kudos to you guys out there on the interwebs. Let's go to New Orleans, or New York, where New Orleans is up 10-6, trying to get more points on the board. And that is another stop. That's Jenkins' second sack. Another sack for this Lightning defense, as LaFouche tried to scramble away. I see what you try to do there, DJ. I'm not falling for it. A sack for St. Louis. Or no, actually a TFL. Rocket Davis has really struggled. New Orleans is going to end up having to settle for a field goal. That is a very low kick. But from 43 yards, that is good. That was not a very impressive field goal there from New Orleans, but they got it done. They're up 13-6. There goes Baron Owens again for Motor City. How about that? 83 yards on 17 carries. Finally, a run game from the Mustangs. 7 minutes to go in the third in that one. That game is still a bizarre result. Ryan Davis's accuracy today, especially deep, has been dreadful. He's now 4 of 11 passing. And Tennessee's going to have to punt. Just not accurate. He's got an open receiver down the field. Ryan Davis's accuracy an issue today. Tennessee lit up Denver. They are having some trouble with St. Louis, who's trying to keep pace with Dallas and Wichita in a very competitive Central Division. Wichita winning 41-24. As Motor City just tried for a 57-yard field goal, and that's no good inside. Let's call that 56.5. Brando Black's pass caught, had the distance, but wide left. Third catch for Gordon, and New York is near the 50-yard line. Wow, that is a great catch from Gordon. That's the best offensive play of the day in that New Orleans-New York game. Gordon goes up for that. The DB just too short.
Go now, 50 plant.
31st play on offense tonight for New York. 11 runs, 19 passes. Little quick throw. Gets a couple. As Rocco McLongfellow will scoop up 3 for Milwaukee. It's going to be 3rd and inches for the Stags. Still a 17-point game in Detroit. Jupiter Jennings on his second carry. Man, New Orleans' run defense has been outstanding. New Orleans against the run this season, well, this will make New York maybe feel a little bit better about it, as Dejon Wright from Milwaukee gets a big play down the field. New Orleans coming into the game 4th in the league in rushing yards allowed, just 85 a game. Only Cleveland, LA, and Salt Lake have been better. So New Orleans, a pretty good run defense, and they are smothering the Lightning here tonight. 3rd down and 10. Brando Black's pass leads the receiver trailing out of bounds, and New York is going to come up empty again. Milwaukee is just outside the red zone trying to expand their lead. McLongfellow 11 for 54 and a score. New York's defense keeping them in it, but their offense struggling as that game winds to the end of the third quarter. Midway through the third, still in St. Louis, and Karen Kaizumi's taken off. Oh, what a juke! Down to the 48-yard line. 55 yards on her first 6 carries of the night. Kaizumi's a menace.
Let's go, boys, bring it up.
Kaizumi so far this season 16th amongst all players. Oh, what a play for New Orleans. That is Cameron Bailey, who goes 24 yards after shaking off a tackle in the backfield. Watch this again, lower right-hand corner. Oh, actually not a tackle. New York almost had a pick 6 there. Adam Wiseman in the red zone, fires it, and that is a touchdown. There he is again, that man, Fergus Henderson. They call him Scorch. Henderson has been excellent since joining Milwaukee. As he climbs the leaderboards, there's a pylon cam, and that is a rout. A shocking rout in Motor City tonight. Man, Milwaukee playing super on the road. Meanwhile, Kaizumi and the Rivermen are trying to step on the throat of Tennessee. That was a 6-play, 52-yard drive for Milwaukee. Skip asking, can anyone who gets a bingo win? Yes, so it's not just one bingo a night. It's however many people get a bingo across game night and primetime. So if you've got 4 spaces filled and you need one more number, the game continues that night through primetime. Keyshawn Lynch with the sack for St. Louis, and we're trying to figure out where to take our audio next. We'll keep it in St. Louis. End of the third quarter. Wow, what a low-scoring game in New York, but New Orleans holding on to a 13-6 advantage. 23-8 St. Louis. That ball nearly intercepted. Kaizumi's night, 22 of 27, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Adam Wiseman saying, not shocking to those of us in Milwaukee. Look at Baron Owens. He is the one bright spot for Motor City, ironically, tonight. And Wiseman, I just want to bring to your attention as Koizumi launches wide open. That pass is caught to the 20. St. Louis back in the red zone. But I want to draw your attention, Adam. You guys still did not vote on the game plan thread. You got the progression thread, but not the game plan thread. It doesn't matter. Game plan looks pretty good tonight. And obviously, your updates to the defensive front have been a success tonight as well for Milwaukee, at least against the pass. Owens is 1 yard away from 100 tonight. Deep shot, Kaizumi down to the 4, down to the 3 actually. Daniel Alvarez with another catch for New York as the Lightning desperate to get their offense moving here in the fourth quarter. Man, St. Louis, they look like one of the best teams in the league. I mean, Tennessee hasn't played terrible, but honestly, Tennessee's biggest problem tonight has just been the inaccuracy of Ryan Davis. Brando Black, pretty accurate on that throw. That's a 23-yard catch. 18 of 23 for 208 is Black. That's Ryzen Rodriguez getting involved for the New York offense. So Alvarez and Rodriguez with back-to-back catches for the Lightning now at midfield. Junior McCray trying to get back into the end zone, but thrown backwards by Mike Rodick with the long hair. Nice TFL
18 Gator.
Brando Black, third straight completion. Down to the New Orleans 26, that's Rodriguez again. Tennessee's red zone defense trying to stand tall as McCray is again stuffed. Tell your friends, Adam.
Go. 18 Gator. 5.
Kaizumi, third down and goal. Gonna take off and run in. Tennessee face plants her into the ground. Maxwell, Aldrin Maxwell unclaimed with the takedown for Tennessee. It'll be 4th and goal, St. Louis. Black trying to stay perfect on the drive. He's now 4 for 4. That pass is complete to McGee. New York has not been able to get the run game going today, but Black has been pretty sharp. Tony D in the chat. I think that's the first time I've seen Tony D here on UFL Game Night. Let us know, my friend. So field goal coming up. That's a 21-yarder for St. Louis. That's good, 26-8. And let's go to New York now, where the Lightning down 7 in the 4th quarter. Trying to put something together. Screen to Robert Henson. Got a great block. Henson is inside the 20-yard line. Motor City's driving to the Milwaukee 30 with 9 seconds to go in the 3rd, but they are down 24. Tennessee now down 18. Oh, Tony Horn. Okay. Perfect. Deep shot, New York. Out of the back of the end zone and nearly runs into the padding on the back wall. Now it's 4th down and 3 for the Lightning with 8:54 to go in the 4th. Their field goal kicker has hit 2 and missed 2, but they'd still need a touchdown. 3rd down and 8. And I don't think Motor City got it. So 4th and 3, I think they'll have to go for this. New York is going for it. Bottom right-hand corner of the screen, 4th down and 3. Under 9 to go. Brando Black is going to throw. Black looking into the end zone. What a one, and it's caught. What a throw to Ryzen Rodriguez. Brando Black with probably his best throw of the season. Look at that beauty. Just over the outstretched arms of the defender. Rodriguez in the back corner. That was pretty. New York finally in the red zone, or in the end zone in the red zone, I should say. Oh, man, and the extra point ties the game at 13 with 8:48 to go in that one. And Motor City, by the way, did get the first down on their 4th down conversion, but then just took a sack for a loss of 7 yards. End of the 3rd quarter in St. Louis. Jack Brown going to take off and run. Not much there, so 3rd down and long for Motor City. Yeah, I will. Tom Frederick and that New York Lightning offensive line keeping Black clean on that throw. We got a ball game in the Big Apple. Ryan Davis takes off and runs. Motor City in the back of the end zone. And they said it's no touchdown. That is to the fullback, Taylor Myers, on a wheel route. And I thought he got the feet in. Man, are we not going to get another look at that? That is incredible. 4th down and 14, and now a turnover on downs. Motor City, that looked like a touchdown. I am really surprised at that call. And no review as Ryan Davis takes off. He's got 84 yards on 8 carries. And that's been their best passing game of sorts because he's been all out of whack in the passing attack. Tennessee's running no huddle down 18. And Milwaukee just got a turnover on downs. And then Tennessee drops Davis's perfect pass down the field. Just this whole Tennessee passing attack is really killing them tonight.
60 Pittsburgh.
Ryan Davis, 3rd and 4, takes off. I think he slid too early. The awareness for Ryan Davis tonight has been poor. Oh, New York with an interception. The New York Lightning catch lightning in a bottle. Free safety, Roman Claytor with the interception. He came out of nowhere. Lightning football. New York has woken up in the 4th quarter. There's Black's numbers strong, 22 of 28. 1 touchdown, no picks for New York.
30 base.
65, 65, 65.
We got 37 total viewers right now across the UFL family of networks. I'm UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine with UFL Gamenight. UFL Primetime's coming up. Big game in snowy Rochester. Undefeated Pioneers host the 2-2 Herd, a very talented Houston team trying to pull the upset tonight and be the only team to knock off an unbeaten here in week 5. Cincinnati beating Portland by 2 when they really should have lost that game. Wichita Dispatches of San Jose and Dallas got the win as well. Golly, handoff to Robert, or that's Jupiter Jennings. 3rd carry, he's blanketed in the backfield. And Milwaukee is just having their way with Motor City. Dejon Wright. I feel like every time Milwaukee hits the field, it's somebody different in this receiving core. 2 weeks ago, it was Churchill. Last week, it was Henderson. And now tonight, it's Dejon Wright.
18 Gator.
3rd down and 13 with 6.5 to go for Brando Black and the New York Lightning, and that does nothing. So New York goes back 3 yards. And they are going to have to punt the football away after the interception. Not what they were looking for. So New York will punt it. That's really our only close game right now. Couple of snoozers on the left-hand side. St. Louis is trying to put away Tennessee. Milwaukee trying to put away Motor City. But, I mean, you look at the spreads tonight coming in as McLongfellow gets over 100 yards. Milwaukee, 5.5-point underdogs. And they are the big upsetters of the night. New York comes in 1.5-point favorites. They're at home. New Orleans has never been a playoff team. New York's just underperforming, so I think the odds makers figure, well, maybe New York is probably still the slight favorite, but we're all tied up there. And then St. Louis came in a near touchdown favorite against Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee got their first win last week against Denver, but Denver has been one of the league's most struggling teams as of late, as that ball is tipped up in the air and incomplete. So New York's defense continues to make life very difficult on Whisker Lafouche, who started 12 of 12 and since then is 7 of 12. And Adam Wiseman pointing out that Rocco McLongfellow, first 100-yard game of his career. So congrats to Rocco, and good on you, Adam, for keeping track of what's going on specifically for Milwaukee. They are in the red zone now again. And, you know, Motor City, this game felt like it was over in the first quarter. Motor City turns the ball over twice. Milwaukee scores on their first 3 possessions. Motor City had no first downs at that point. And it's basically been chalk since then. St. Louis is into the red zone, and a fumble is recovered by St. Louis. But because the recovery happened shy of the first down, it's actually, oh, there's a fumble by New Orleans, picked up by New York. Are you kidding me? New York has forced back-to-back turnovers as that ball is ripped out. Who got the recovery? Polk with the rip out. I think that might have been Dawson coming over to make the play, and the Lightning have the football again in New Orleans territory. Handoff to Henderson, who scored on that little jet sweep earlier this season, but does not score there. Second down and goal. So big play in New York. Red zone for Milwaukee, red zone for St. Louis. Both those teams trying to put that game away. Jupiter Jennings gets assaulted at the 37-yard line. And after this week, New Orleans might be the best red zone defense. Touchdown Milwaukee again. Adam Wiseman, touchdown number 4. And he hits Parrish for the score. Again in the backfield, just unblocked. This is the best run defensive performance that we have seen in the UFL. It's quickly 3rd and 10 again for New York. Listen, New York's rushing offense this season, 86 yards a game. That's 9th fewest in the league, so it's not lighting it up by storm, but they are just getting totally shut down. 3rd down and 10. Brandon Black lost the ball from behind. Henson Jr. recovers, but how about New Orleans defense? Back-to-back times forcing a 3-and-out for loss of yardage after the offense turns the ball over. Junior McCray lost the ball again, and it's recovered by Tennessee. What has gotten into Tennessee and New Orleans, really all the defense here tonight on game night? McCray almost lost a fumble earlier in the drive. This time does lose a fumble. That's ripped away by unclaimed Treyon Williams. And now New Orleans will get the football at their own 23 after the punt only goes 22 yards. 3:16 left to go in that game. And again, Ryan Davis is inaccurate. 7 of 16 tonight for just 94 yards. Deep shot for Motor City. That pass is caught to the 15-yard line. Ace Fennick, on an otherwise unimpressive evening for the Mustang offense, may have just doubled their passing yards. Davis this time on a rope. That pass is caught. Another sack for New York. That's Lipsy. Boy, if you like defense, New York and New Orleans have been absolutely balling tonight. I think that's sack number 6 for the Lightning. Ryan Davis takes off and runs, looking for a block. Got it. First down Tennessee, but too little too late, I think. 97 yards for Ryan Davis on the ground. Jack Brown going to take another sack in the red zone. Whisker Lafouche off and running on 3rd and 11. That's not going to be enough, and New York will call a timeout just before the 2-minute warning. Catching up on the chat here. We really appreciate your viewership here in this new product. I know it means the world to me. It means the world to CJ too. We got a big announcement coming up on Friday, and then we'll have the Creators Podcast to show off some things coming up next week. 2-minute warning in New York. And we're just trying to wait for the clock to hit zeros or see if anybody else can get into the end zone for Tennessee and Motor City. Motor City's just going to take the points. That pass deep down the field by Black is incomplete. 1:53 to go and 2 timeouts. Just a field goal will win it. But New York is 2 for 4 on field goals. They missed both from 50+. Their kicker was perfect coming into the night, 8 for 8. With a long of 51. Brando Black is going to launch one deep in one-on-one coverage, and it's incomplete. A little bit of contact out there, but no call. Motor City gets a field goal, 2:38 to go. And the 2-minute warning in St. Louis. It looks like the Rivermen are going to go to 3-1, and Tennessee is falling behind quickly in a very talented Central Division. 3rd down and 10 for Brando Black. Brando Black fires over the middle. That pass is caught. 45 down to the 47-yard line, 48-yard line, first down. That's Gordon for New York. And Motor City will, whoa, they're going to recover that onside kick. How did that happen? Did you see that? Motor City, I think the kicker, Brando Black is sacked. I think Motor City's kicker did the old okey doke where he went to kick it with one foot and then kicked it with another foot, or they audible to an onside kick or something, but that ball rolled forever. Nobody picked it up for Milwaukee, and Motor City recovers. Brando Black going low, gets intercepted. New Orleans gets the football at the 42. Ryan Davis, deep shot, that's caught at the 16-yard line. That was the best throw of the day. That is Action Jackson. That was the best throw of the day by Ryan Davis. Black's pass is intercepted. First turnover of the day for New York. Look at that ball from Davis. Wow, even better catch from Jackson. Antoine Brandon with the pick. Back and forth this fourth quarter. Since New York got the touchdown, New York has fumbled, recovered their own fumble, as Motor City is still on the move. Tennessee is still on the move. New Orleans threw a pick and also lost a fumble. New York has thrown an interception. We're still tied at 13, 50 seconds to go. There you see the kicker warming up for New Orleans. They have all three timeouts. That pass is caught for Motor City, and that's a touchdown. So the Mustangs get a second or a first in the first half. Ryan Davis firing to the end zone for Tennessee. That is caught for a touchdown. So we got two touchdowns. Now a timeout New Orleans at the New York 43 after Osbury's catch. Tennessee and Motor City finding some offense here. Max Capone with the catch, and I suppose it's not entirely over in St. Louis. 26-14. They'll kick the extra point to make it 11. And there goes Whisker Lafouche. 25 seconds left. Lafouche gets inside of the range of the kicker. Timeout, New Orleans. New York would not take timeouts unless New Orleans got inside the 30. That was an adjustment we made this past week because a 51-yard field goal is still not a guarantee, and as we've seen here tonight, that is certainly true. So a second down and one here for New Orleans as they are trying to get in field goal position. They fake it to the back, and he's sacked out of field goal range. Polk with the sack. New Orleans gets cute with it and pays the price. Now down to 8 seconds, 6 seconds. Lafouche trying to get in field goal range, gets across the target line, slides down, 2 seconds, timeout. And New Orleans can kick a game winner and get out of New York on a 3-game winning streak. Unbelievable. This one from 53. Now New Orleans also missed a 50-plus yarder. This is for the win for New Orleans. Kick is on the way. It is short, and we're going to overtime. OT, and it's the second OT of the season, and both have ended up 13-13 at the end of regulation. What a manic fourth quarter. Holy smokes. St. Louis appearing to ice things. Milwaukee also appearing to ice things. Motor City has all three timeouts, but they're not using them. That's why Milwaukee is running their standard offense. Now Tennessee's only down 2 scores, so they will use them. It looks like New York is going to get the ball first to start overtime. Overtime rules follow the NFL rules. If you get a touchdown on the opening drive, the game is over. If you get a field goal on the opening drive, then the other team gets a chance to possess the football. And in our first overtime game of the season, it was Cleveland beating Fresno 19-13. Fresno actually turned the ball over on their first possession of that overtime, and then Cleveland went down and got a game-winning touchdown, kept going for the touchdown because obviously, they could have won the game with a field goal, I suppose, but wanted the score. 281-276. New Orleans leads in offense, and there goes Robert Henson with his best run of the night, picking up 6 yards to start OT for New York. Oh, man.
On the set.
It's been a long day for you.
Fire.
Toss, Jupiter Jennings, nothing. 5 carries, no yards tonight for Jupiter Jennings. And things are finally over in Motor City. They dug themselves a 17-0 hole, and they could never recover. What a win for Milwaukee, 38-17. The Milwaukee Stags will improve to 2-3 in the division. Motor City falls to 2-2. Everybody's behind Cincinnati, but the Milwaukee Stags are creeping up. They will host the Dakota Rhinos on May 1st. That is caught by Robert Henson, who breaks a tackle down to the 49-yard line. Tennessee and St. Louis is also finished. St. Louis improves to 3-1. Up next for them, April 21st, they host New Orleans. New Orleans is putting up a fight right now in New York. Tennessee's got to get the pass game fixed. They fall to 1-4. And they will host Charlotte here in 9 days on April 16th. Charlotte's been playing some better football. For Motor City, they've dropped 2 in a row. Deep shot, Brando Black for New York. That pass is bobbled around and could not be caught. Incomplete, second down. For Motor City, they've got their next 2 games. They host Rochester and they host Wichita. 2 teams right now in the UFL that are unbeaten. A brutal schedule coming up for the Mustangs, who got to turn it around quick after 2 straight losses. Jennings looks lost tonight. Dropped for 3 yards. 3rd down and 13 for the Lightning at their own 48-yard line in overtime. Josh Zirkle in the chat getting ready for primetime. New York probably will not blow it again. Josh Zirkle, Chris Curtis have that call of Houston.
Here we go. 60 outlaw. Stay with your man.
And Rochester coming up.
Shoot.
Pass on 3rd and 13 is caught. I would say into field goal range, but I'm not quite sure on a night like this. That's Ryzen Rodriguez, now over 100 yards on 5 grabs. This is your final game of the night here, at least here on Game Night.
Here we go. 60 or.
9 minutes to go in the overtime period. Handoff to Jennings. This time Jennings able to get forward some. That'll help the kicker. It'll be a 45-yarder from here. 2nd down and 6. For New York. Remember, a field goal will not win it. A touchdown will win it. 2nd down and 6. Black fires, nearly picked again. Ooh. Third and 6. As Curtis and Zirkle wait patiently from chilly Rochester in the 30s tonight. Brando Black fires, almost picked again, and now it's 4th down. And 45-yarder, 4th and 6. I think you got to kick, play defense. Defense has played good all night. New Orleans secondary stepping up. Kicker is 2 for 4, but has missed 2 from 50 plus. This will be from 45. And again, if we were playing Yugo or UFL Bingo, 45 would get marked off if this kick would be made. And got it. So New York is up 3, but overtime continues because the Lightning did not score a touchdown. If New Orleans scores 3, then it's sudden death. And if they score a touchdown, obviously they win the game. If they score nothing, New York's going to hold on and win. Our second overtime of the UFL season, the road team, Cleveland won 19-13 in the first game. I believe that was last week. And yeah, the burden back on the defense here. 1 game left. Just waiting to see how this finishes up. 8:13 to go in OT. And New Orleans will start from their own 25-yard line. So St. Louis gets the win in a very odd score, 26-15 over Tennessee. And Milwaukee all over Motor City tonight, 38-17. The Stags are moving up to 2-3. That's where New York wants to get to tonight. That pass is picked off by New York down the field. It's Cain Vasquez, and the Lightning are going to win the game. Oh man, Cain Vasquez jumped the route. Give me that. And he scores, and that's how overtime will end. In a rare 9-point overtime performance by any team. New York wins it on a pick-6 walk-off. What a game for the Lightning defense. I would say those adjustments paid off tonight. New York wins it by 9. Let the outro begin. You can check the stats of that game on its individual game stream in the video section of VFN YouTube. What an ending to game night. We only had 1 game that was particularly interesting, but it was really good. Not if you're New Orleans, obviously. New York just 21 rushing yards on the night, but they forced 3 turnovers, all in the fourth quarter or overtime, and they get the win. Your final 22-13. St. Louis wins 26-15. Milwaukee beats Motor City 38-17. Josh Circle, Chris Curtis have Game Night coming up next, right here on the Virtual Football Network. Good night, everybody.